Hey, hey, hey. Welcome to Loving Arms of God. My name is Jennifer. Welcome or welcome back. So today is the day that I'm going to share a very important testimony that I haven't discussed before, that I haven't shared before. Today, I am going to share my 7-year relationship testimony. And I hope you guys don't mind, but this video is going to be a little lengthy. This video is going to be raw, and it's going to be real. So I hope you take notes, because you're going to need a note. You're going to need a notebook or something. You're going to need a piece of paper and a pen to take some notes, because I'm going to give it to y'all today. Hi, guys. Thanks for hopping on. All right, my videos aren't usually long. I don't know if you guys, if you follow me, you would know that. But my videos aren't usually long. They're usually really short, sweet, and to the point. But I'm going to take my time with this one. This is not an easy testimony to share, but I am willing to be uncomfortable for Christ. Why, you may ask? Here's why. So I'm going to paint a picture for y'all. This is how I'm going to start this, right? So Jesus' suffering and execution on the cross, naked in front of people, taking my place, was uncomfortable. Jesus felt every beating, every whip, every nail, every thorn on his head, every betrayal, humiliation, agony, every tear and drop of blood shed for me were all accounted for. Okay, so I'm willing to be uncomfortable because he was uncomfortable when he suffered and died for me. The number one important decision in your life is choosing to give your life to Christ. The second most important decision in your life is who you decide to marry. Around this time, 7 years ago, I walked away from a 7-year toxic relationship. 7 years ago, God delivered me from such bondage. Being with the wrong man for 7 years, who I lived with for 2 due to circumstances out of my control, I learned a lot about myself, and I learned a lot about the enemy, the devil, aka Satan. So I'm going to explain how we met briefly, and I'm going to explain how I fell in love. Only it wasn't really love after all. So we met at my prom, actually. We met at my prom, and he was actually sitting right next to me. And at the time, he was with his girlfriend at the time. I think his girlfriend was in my grade, and and he was a year older, I believe, something along those lines. But yeah, we met at my prom, and that's how we first met. It was almost like a fairy tale, but we all know fairy tales don't exist. So, when I graduated high school, the first college that I went to 2 colleges, Nassau Community College, and then I went to NYIT, New York Institute of Technology. So I think the first week of college at NCC, I was walking on campus and we crossed paths. And it started from there. Okay, so that's how we met. How did I fall for him? I fell for him because he seemed like everything that I wanted. He gained my trust. He knew how to make me trust him. So he gained my trust. We had a lot in common. And that made me, him gaining my trust, it made me like want to open up to him. So the levels where we were so close. I saw him as a brother. And then I saw him as a best friend. And then from best friend, it turned into lovers. So that's how it progressed. There were a lot of red flags that I ignored. I'm gonna explain later what they were. I told him everything. He is the first guy I've told everything to. I told everything to him. I shared everything. And he just treated me and did things for me that no one else and that no other guy has done for me. Believe it or not, I never used to have a lot of friends. I didn't really have a lot of friends. And I didn't really have anybody to talk to like that or whatever. So yeah. He did things like that I actually liked, that no one else has done. Like, for example, he would he would tie my shoes. He would tie my shoelaces. He would, when we would walk in the street, he would pick me up, so I wouldn't step in a puddle of water, stuff like that. He would, when we walk in the street, he would he would push me, not push me, but he would slightly put me to the side so he can walk on the side of traffic. Things like that. He was always there. When I was with him, I never touched the bus. Okay, I'm dead serious. I never touched the bus. I actually forgot how to take the bus when we broke up. Believe it or not. And I got lost. yeah, I forgot how to take the bus. But yeah, when we were together, I never touched the bus. He drove me wherever I needed to go. Whenever I would call, he would pick up on the second ring, okay? And whenever I would ask him, like, to come to me, to come get me or whatever, like, he would drop everything and come get me, like, right away. Stuff like that. But yeah. We spent a lot of time together. A lot of time together every single day. Like I said, he would do what no one else has done. So I give credit where it's due. He did do things that no one else has done for me. Yeah, stuff like that. You don't attract what you want. You attract who you are and what you are on the inside. The very thing that I feared was the very thing that I attracted in my life like a magnet. You can be compatible with a demon. That quote is by Jerry Flowers. I'm going to say a lot of quotes today and a lot of scripture. What does that mean? You can be compatible with a demon. This is what this means. This is what it means. Just because you have a lot in common with someone, it doesn't mean you're compatible. Me and my ex had a lot in common. That doesn't mean we were compatible. I'm going to explain further in a second. All men, I don't care what anyone says, all men have this natural gift to see right through a woman. In other words, a man can see if you're broken or not, if you have a void or not. Men can see this. My ex, he saw that I was broken. He saw that I had a God-sized void. Behold, I give unto you power to tread on serpents and scorpions and over all the power of the enemy, and nothing shall by any means hurt you, according to Luke 10:19. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. That's according to Ephesians 6:12. God uses people to do his work, and so does the devil. God has a plan for your life, and the devil does too. Without knowing at the time, the enemy used my ex-boyfriend as an instrument to try to destroy me and to try to cancel my destiny. You can forfeit your destiny by being with the wrong person. Satan, the enemy, comes to steal, kill, and destroy. He comes to confuse. He comes to pervert. He comes to divide. He comes to deceive. He comes to distract and dismantle. That is according to John 10:10. The devil couldn't kill me or destroy me, but he did steal everything you can imagine from me. The enemy only has power because we give it to him. I gave my power away being in that toxic relationship for 7 years. And the moment I left my ex and walked away was the moment I got my power back. Sin is patient, y'all. Years or decades may pass. You think you're over something, but that sin lays dormant, waiting for the right circumstances to fall right into place. The thing about living in darkness is that when you don't even realize it. I was abused mentally, emotionally, and verbally, severely. Even physically a few times. It was mostly an emotional, verbal, toxic relationship, which is the worst kind. Words are so powerful, it can hurt you, it can cut you more than someone hitting you. I'm not here to bash anyone. I'm not here to talk bad about my ex. I'm here to tell the truth. Because the truth will set you free. Just like it set me free. Truth be told, we were both toxic. We were both broken. We were both unhealthy people. When you don't heal right, you won't pick right. That quote is by Jerry Flowers also. Satan wants to sift you like wheat, according to Luke 22:31, and Satan wants to pick you to pieces or tear your soul apart like a lion. He wants to ruin you. Satan, the devil, is not your friend. Like a lion in its natural habitat, he sits back and looks for the vulnerable and weak so that he might devour his prey. Be sober-minded, be vigilant, be watchful, because your adversary, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour, according to 1 Peter 5:8. What made me leave? In a nutshell, 3 things. I was done, I was finished, and we were finished. Okay. All right. So one day my cousin asked me, right? I'm never gonna forget this. She asked me one day, if he proposed to you, would you say yes? And then she asked me, if you were married to him, would you get a divorce? Those were powerful questions that I already knew the answer to. No and no. Well, actually, I take that back. If you were married to him, do you think you would get a divorce? I take that back. If you were married to him, do you think you would get a divorce? Yes. 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 If he proposed to you, would you say yes? At the time, I would have said yes. I think. This was 7 years ago. Bear with me. Let me see. You know what? I take it. At the time, when she asked me this at the time, if he asked me to marry him, I would have said no. And if we were married, would we have gotten a divorce? Yeah, we would have. Within probably less than 3 years, we would have got a divorce. But thank God, he never proposed. And thank God I did not marry that man. Thank God for that. To God be the glory. Seriously. Before I left him while we were together, I would stare at him while he was asleep. The thought to take his life crossed my mind for the pain and the betrayal that he caused me. When I left my ex, I admit I wanted revenge. And I wanted to dedicate my time, my energy to make him regret the day that we met. I didn't hear an audible voice, but it's like I heard God say in my spirit, "Vengeance is mine, says the Lord. Do not take revenge, my dear friends, but leave room for God's wrath. For it is written, it is mine to avenge. I will repay, says the Lord." That's according to Romans 12:19. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. At the time, a part of me didn't believe that. But a part of me did. And the part of me that did was stronger than the part that didn't. I was filled with so much anger, so much rage, so much resentment, so much bitterness and unforgiveness towards this man. After the breakup, to my surprise, my ex did apologize to me. Nonetheless, the damage was already done. The apology didn't take the pain away. It took me years, but believe it or not, I finally found the strength in God to forgive my ex. I'm gonna share 10 things that I learned. I'm gonna share 10 lessons, painful lessons that I learned when I was with my ex. I'm gonna share 10 out of the many lessons that I learned. Number 1, never idle anyone or anything before God. I idled this dude. Ooh, big mistake. Number 2, how a man treats his mother is how he'll treat you. I used to see, this is at the time, okay? Because I want to stress, I was unrecognizable before. Like, I really was. I was unrecognizable. I look back and I'm like, what did I see in this man? What made me stay for 7 years? I lost my train of thought. What was I saying? Right. I used to see what made me stay. Ha ha ha. Yeah, that's a good question. That's a good question. What made me stay? What made me stay? I would say... What made me stay? It was familiar. I stayed because I thought not gonna lie, I stayed because of the sex too. I also stayed because I was comfortable. I was comfortable in the dysfunction. I was comfortable with familiarity. I was comfortable. I was just comfortable, really. I thought that no one else would do the things that he did for me. There's a lot of reasons why, but that's all I can think of for right now. But I stayed for a lot of reasons, a lot of dumb reasons, really. But yeah, so I used to get back to what I was saying, I would, I'm up to number 2 of the number 2. How a man treats his mother is how he'll treat you. I used to watch how he would treat his mom. Ooh. How he used to treat his mom. I stupidly thought, he won't treat me like that. Please. That is not true. That's correct. That is not true. It's not true. He treated me much worse. Number 3. If an ex is present, you make an exit. What does that mean? If you're with a man or a woman and their ex is in the picture, there's the door. You need to run out that door. Number 4. Just because a man this one, I love this one. Just because a man talks about God doesn't mean he's in covenant with him. I'm going to say that again for the people in the back and in the corner. Just because a man talks about God, saints, doesn't mean he's in covenant with him. A man could talk about God all day long, up and down, sideways. That don't mean God has his heart. That doesn't mean he's in a covenant relationship with the Father. That does not mean anything. Boy, did I learn. Boy, did I learn. I thought, he's talking about God. He don't won. Please. Number 5, trauma bonding is a thing. Trauma bonding is real. Trauma bonding attracts drama. Trauma bonding is not love. It's dysfunctional and very, very toxic. What is trauma bonding? It's simple. It's exactly what it says. You bond with someone over your trauma. That's what trauma bonding is. Number 6. You will never be good enough for the wrong person. Doesn't mean you're not good enough. It means you're not good enough for him or her. Number 7, we don't possess the power to change anyone. You can't change a person. Only God can. A person can and will change when they're ready to change. You can't make them ready. Trust me, I tried. And some people never change. I was with this man for 7 years. Please hear me. I was with this man for 7 years. I waited 7 years for him to change, and he never changed. I remember he would drop me. Well, he would drop me everywhere, but he would take me everywhere I needed to go. But when he would drop me to church, he didn't want to come inside. I was with him for 7 years. That man walked inside the church with me 1 or 2 times. That's it. And when he was in church with me, he was standing there like, I can't explain. It was very creepy. He would just stand there so tense, so serious, so, oh man, devil is a liar. My phone is getting low. He would just stand there, and it was like he didn't want to be there. You know, it was really like, okay, that's not good. That is definitely a red flag. I'm sorry. I hope you guys can still hear me and see me. Okay, I'm gonna try to finish this before my phone dies. But yeah. That was definitely another red flag. Wait for the one, but do not wait for someone to be the one. That quote is by J.H. Hard. Number 8, as a woman, if you don't know your value, then you'll allow a man to set your price for you. Not every man will see your worth or your value. Be found by a man who does, who knows he's privileged to spend time with you and to be with you. Not every man is going to see your value. Not every man is going to see your worth, because not every man is for you. Number 9, how a man got you is how he's going to keep you. What does that mean? If you got with a man that cheated on his girl to be with you, what you think he gonna do to you? Number 10, when you see yourself as a victim, you become someone else's prey. When you see yourself as a victor, you become a threat. Now, I'm gonna give you guys one last extra nugget for free. Don't let your history become your identity. That quote is by me. My history became my identity when I was with him. Who I thought was my best friend became my worst enemy. And in my worst nightmare. He was like 2 different people. The longer you're in a relationship, the more painful it is to get out of it. Satan is subtle. The devil is subtle. The more subtle, the more deadly. Sin is patient, and sin leads to death. Spiritually, then eventually physically. I'm going to give a quick example. My grandmother on my dad's side, when I was living with him for those 2 years, she told me that she had a dream that I died. Obviously, I didn't die. I'm here now speaking to you. That was very, I got revelation on what that meant. That meant I was spiritually dead. And I was. I thought we were soulmates, but he just made my soul ache. That quote is by me again. Even if you find your soulmate, a soulmate does not fill a void. Point blank, period. Only God can fill your voids. My breakup was an unforgettable, traumatic end. Long story short, I was upstairs, he was downstairs. He had my password. I think he's logged into my iPad and he saw I was talking to someone, basically planning to leave him. He saw that I was planning to leave. Oh, it did not. My plan did not turn out the way I planned. I planned to leave when he wasn't home. It didn't turn out that way. Yeah, unfortunately. So he went upstairs, he came upstairs and it went downhill from there. A lot of people don't know this, but he made it look, okay. Remember, I broke up with him. He made it look like he broke up with me. He took all my clothes out the closet and he put them on the front porch and in his mother's car. And he made it look like he left me. I left him. That night we broke up, that was the most embarrassing night of my life. I'm just gonna leave it there. Sometimes the breakup is the blessing and staying is simply continuing the cycle. Quote written by me as well. I entered that relationship broken and I left in shattered pieces. I was broke and in over $100,000 in debt. All I had was a couple cents in my pocket, my things, and God. That's it. God never left me. Today, 7 years later, I am the happiest I've ever been in my entire life because of my relationship with Jesus. I left my ex-boyfriend and ran into God's loving arms, and he hasn't let me go since. I thank God for delivering me from such bondage. I thank God for his mercy and his grace. Grace found me on an abortion table twice in 1 year and almost died the first time, screaming in pain as if I were giving birth. Grace found me drunk on a beach with no recollection of leaving and being driven to the ER with my stomach almost pumped of too much alcohol. Grace found me disease-free. I was having unprotected sex for 7 years. I didn't get no sexually transmitted disease. Grace found my debt paid in full of all charges and granted Chapter 7 bankruptcy. I left that relationship because I knew deep down that it wasn't love. Love is not blind. Lust is blind. It feels so right when it's so wrong. Quote written by me. I had the courage and the faith to believe that the right man was out there waiting for me. If you went through what I went through, or are going through something similar right now, understand you may feel trapped like I felt, but there is always a way out, because I got out twice growing up in a domestic violence household and then being in an abusive romantic relationship. Let this be your warning, your proof or your confirmation to leave that abusive relationship. One day after the breakup, of course, he tried to get back with me. As soon as we broke up, I deleted all our pictures. He asked me, why did you do that? Really? One day after the breakup, while I was talking to my ex-boyfriend in the car, parked outside of a park, there was a street sign that said, right in front of the car, that said dead end. God was speaking to me clear as day. Being with the wrong man or woman leads to a dead end life. Quote written by me. God loves you and has better waiting for you. So love yourself to let go and choose you. And remember to turn your pain into power. I'll see you in my next video.